Evening, I'll share with you some very profound information. The purpose is for you to receive the maximal grace from Divine Mother. So whatever she has given me, I will share with you. And each one of you will get certain information the way you perceive it. And that would be the best. She knows what you need. She knows what you want, what you need, and she will grant you. If I ask, I would not know what you need. I will ask for too much or too little. But in this temple, I always ask her, grant them what they need. And that soul level only she knows. I know your mind-body level, but not the soul level. That's the most important. And I want to acknowledge Sambhavi. Please stand up, because I felt your father. So please stand up. Yeah, that is Sambhavi. She is one of the true devotees. Her father was a very distinguished professor of religious studies. He was a seer. He is a realized soul, and he was involved in the temple, and he is very actively present in the Pitru Loka, in the astral plane, and he participates with me. But I just wanted to acknowledge her. That will please him. Where is your mother? Sambhavi is a realized soul, touched by mother, and good luck. And where is your mom? Irkanga, say. Oh, Irkanga. Thank you. You're very, very pious soul. Okay, before I start, I want to introduce to you a distinguished person. Mr. David Millark. Please, David, can you stand up? Mr. Millark is a very spiritual soul. I'll just spend 1 minute to explain who he is. Mr. Millark is a specialist in the phenomenal world. He is world renowned as a specialist in ancient trees. When I say ancient, I'm talking about 5,000 years, 6,000 years, that's trees. So in the phenomenal world, he is recognized as an authority. He has been in Today Show, all kinds of shows. He's well recognized in that area. I'm not expert in the area. But I recognize him for his spiritual ability. He not only knows the trees, the physical object, he knows the spirit of the trees. That is very unique. Divine Mother wanted you to have the blessing of the tree spirits. How does she do it? She talks to him. I never even knew anything about him. She goes, and how does she go? I asked him, how did she come to you? He described Ganesha. He said he doesn't know what we know about Ganesha, but he knows Ganesha. He knows that he is supreme wisdom. Mother wants to communicate, she will come as supreme wisdom. And he described that to me. I was very touched. So that soul is a spiritual soul. He's gone beyond mind-body engulfment. And we communicate. I saw him 2 years ago, I think. I have not seen him. But we communicate very actively, because when we do the prayogam, we go into the astral world, and all the siddhas and rishis who are here, who are gone from the physical body but present as a jiva samadhi, we all communicate. So I communicate him very often. And interestingly, Rakesh has met him. He went and saw him about 10 days ago. He knows everything happening here. I don't mean what physical, not the phenomenal happening. He knows that too. He knows what energy is coming here. And he made a statement to him which Rakesh could not figure out. I figured it out. He said, I see 1,000 arrows coming out of the Rajagopuram towards the world. The meaning is this: Mother has built this thing for the world protection. She knows the demonic effect is very active now, age of demon. That's why we built, she wanted us to build the house of worship, so she will protect her devotees and the world. But now she said, bring me in various attributes, 520 attributes, so my devotees can receive me. It's not that she is there, she will grant you, but we have to have the high vibratory level to receive her. To that level, she has made sure the 520 aspect of hers are installed. My job is to make you aware. That's all. The minute you are aware, you will receive from them. All your Ishta Devatas will be there. Ishta Devatas are Devatas with whom you are connected vibrationally based on your past, not just this lifetime. All this you may not be aware, but she knows. So she said, you provide them and they will reach me and I will reach them. Transcendence. Again, goes back to one supreme source, transcends it. That's the whole concept of our. So to that end, she has made many things. First of all, what I did not know at the time, she identified the site. And later on, we found out there's a river running underneath. I did not know that. Temple built on the river would have the most power. That is known Vedic script stock. But how many temples are built on the street? If I had known that there's a river going, I would not even try. I found out later on, and we had to do many, many things. Go underneath the river, to the riverbed, and build it. But the auspiciousness would be so good. So she kindly takes care of whatever we need, any mystical effect. So I'll go through all this. It's very profound information. You may not get all of it, but get as much as you can, and it will go on the YouTube, you listen to it, and then you realize what all she tried to convey to you. So the profound mystical significance of the Rajagopuram is what I want you to know, because you're going to get the benefit. So if I explain to you what all she did, your awareness goes up, your connection goes up, your consciousness is touched by Supreme Consciousness, so you receive more. It's very scientific. That's the reason bhakti is so important. The devotion, the faith is very important. It connects your soul to the super soul. Science, logic, jnana, yes, they do give you lots of information. But ultimately, to connect you, you need devotion. To that end, she has done everything. And first I want to acknowledge Millard, because he was kind enough to let us know what is going on. And he was able to see what nobody else has seen. Only I know what he knows, and I have not seen him or talked to him in 2 years. He came 2 years ago. He came for a very important purpose. He wants to make sure he plants ancient trees. One of them is from island of Kos, 2,300 years ago. Hippocrates, father of medicine, very appropriate. I'm a physician. Father of medicine meditated on the tree. Then a Sherman tree, which is over 5,000 years. General Sherman, who is a Civil War hero, has done a lot of research. So he brought that tree. It's not the tree itself, it's the spirit behind the trees. That's the secret of tree spirits. So Buddha got his gnosis, wisdom, on Bodhi tree. It's the energy, the consciousness of that tree, ancient tree. It develops after living for so many years. It develops certain level of consciousness and affection and the spirit traveled through the plant. So this is difficult to understand. How can tree spirits? But I know they do. And Mother has made sure we have the ancient trees planted in our spot. So to that end she used him. But he knows a lot more. He feels the energy of our temple not being here, and he benefits a lot. He travels, he sees things. We call them seers. There are many siddhas I made in India. They are seers because they know about our temple. They know this is the place where Mother is most active. Mother is present everywhere. But to be accessible to us, that is the key point. To be accessible to us, this is the best place. Okay, the spiritual importance, you have to know it's not the structure itself. The Rajagopuram architecture is a supreme manifestation of cosmic mathematical principle. Mathematics is divine. Now again, when I say mathematics, it's not the mathematical principle we use. We use very rudimentary, very low level of mathematics. The higher mathematics is divine. Some seers, Ramanujam will be one example, the genius Ramanujam. To him, she came and taught. Haradishta Devata's Namagiri. She came and said profound things. He was considered a genius. He passed away in 1920s, I believe. But now, whatever notes he took from that Devata, they are deciphering it with a supercomputer. And that apparently has secrets of wormhole principle, space travel, all those secretive things, which she told him. That is mathematical. So I'm talking about that high level of mathematics is very divine. So all these supreme universal energies, we divinize them with her help, and we are going to install. So you have access to supreme energies, which is divinized. Energy means not just physical energy, the consciousness behind the energy. That is more important than spiritual, like mind, body and soul. That the soul of that energy with a high vibration, that is a Devata. And we got millions and millions. And she chose 520 needed for humans in this world. And every element in that Gopuram is very refined. I don't have the time to explain to you. The base layer is a lotus, principle. The lotus is symbolic in our Hindu tradition. Any tradition, lotus is symbolic because the way it unfolds, that is the way we unfold. How human become divine, that is our aim. How to become divine, from inanimate to animate to plants to beast. We came, and we are beasts essentially. We have many beastly qualities, but we refine them and go towards divine world, divine. That is a purpose, very high purpose she has given it, and she will help us to be. So when you follow all the things she has done, you would know it. So lotus way unfolds is like our chakras, from Mooladhara to Sahasrara. The Sahasrara is a 1,000-petal lotus unfolds. Another symbolism is the original sin, which religions talk about, is actually a separation. It is not Adam and Eve and all the story. The original sin is separation from divine. That is original. It's not a sin. It is the way it happened. That's the way divine wished it. And the separation, it causes all this problem. And so if you compare it in earth, in a dirty pond, a beautiful lotus comes. So that is the symbolism. This is a dirty pond, earth. And from that we evolve. So the symbolism would be a lotus growing in a dirty pond and come out beautifully unfolding. That's what we have to do from this dirty pond, meaning lots of evil, lots of demonic energies are in us and outside us. We have to overcome them and make ourselves angelical. The Rajagopuram will help the mankind. It's not just for us, it's for the world. She said, you bring me in the way I want to be brought. I will reach, I will touch my devotees all over the world, and I will make them grow to next level of consciousness. You know how profound that is? Humans existed 4 million years ago. 150,000 years ago, all of a sudden, the consciousness went up. Cro-Magnons came. We are Cro-Magnons. And we already had Neanderthal. Neanderthal was superior. Physically, intellectually, brain-wise, but no, she chose us. So Neanderthal disappeared 40,000 years ago, and our consciousness is growing. But still, if you look at it scientifically, we are using only 10% of the brain. And 90% of our genes, science will call it junk genes, junk. We don't know what they do, so we call them junk genes. No, they have the potential. When they manifest with the Divine Mother's grace, we will go higher and higher and become divine. So scientifically, there's a potentiality. Potentiality and becoming and being is two different things. Being we are, becoming we have to, and she will help us. And the Rajagopuram, the way it's constructed, will help us because it will bring the Devatas to our realm of consciousness and bless us, bless the world, so that we can evolve intellectually and spiritually, go to the next level of consciousness. And you see in the television shows, ancient aliens, I'm sure all of you have seen the show. Ancient aliens, the ancient, they're here. In this temple, they're all here. But they're in a different level of consciousness. And they induce certain changes in your genes maybe, in your brain, and you get the wisdom. To that end, we have Vak Devatas. We have many Devatas. Vak Devatas, the Saraswati, Maha Saraswati aspect, 18 of them she has given us. Through them, you will receive gnosis, the wisdom, not intellectual wisdom, not instinctive wisdom, intuitive wisdom. And she's given us Hanumanji. Hanumanji is intuitive wisdom. So all these are symbolic, but they're factual. So it says in the ancient, Gopura Darshanam Koti Punyam. What the statement means is, if I look at this tower with bhakti, with the devotion, faith and understanding of each Devata, what they mean, not the gross body, not the subtle body, the causal body of that Devata. Just like we have three bodies, the gross, subtle and the causal body is your Atman. That is the reality. The first slide, I don't know if it touched on it. Asadame sadkamaya, tamasame jyotir kamaya. Mrityo means amritam kamaya. What it means is, from unreal take me to real, from darkness take me to jyoti, light. From death give me immortality. Are we immortal? Yes. If you know, if you realize yourself, you are immortal. Aging doesn't bother you. You know you're going to shed that and keep moving on. Next stage of evolution. So that wisdom, the knowledge makes you immortal. So that's the first mantra she gave me when I used to walk and meditate, when nothing was there. When she said, build my house here, I used to come and meditate. And she said, ask me for this. Asadame sadkamaya, tamasame jyotir kamaya, mrityo means amritam kamaya. From unreal to real, darkness to light, from death to immortality. That's what she wants you, as she will grant you that. The minute you realize yourself, self-realization, I know that is the reality, not your mind, body, ego. That is the covering, you need that to evolve. Ultimately, what is eternal is the soul. That is you, that is me. If that knowledge comes, you are immortal, because death cannot separate. Yama cannot do that. And the minute you realize Yama Dharmaraja is a god of death, he becomes your friend. Because you are understood. He cannot touch you. He wants you to know that. So Nachiketa is a great Maharishi. When he went to that god of death, he asked all the secret. Reluctantly he gave, but knowing and realizing are two different things. And Maharishi Nachiketa realized and gave us the Purana. That's a wonderful Purana. There it teaches you what happens after death. Where do you go from here? One step, next step. All the deep information he gives. Book of Death, Tibetan Book of Death gives some. Egyptian Book of Death gives some information. Nothing like what Nachiketa was given by Yama. Dharma Raja. Look at the beautiful. Yama is god of death, but we say Dharma. He executes Dharma. Yama Dharma Raja, king. So we treat him with lots of reverence, lot of respect, and he becomes your friend the minute you realize this. That's what he wants you to realize. Till you realize that, death will come to you. You keep on dying and coming back and dying. If you don't want to go through that and go to the next level of consciousness, to divine, you come to her and she will grant you. In this place of worship, she's actively present. That is the reason why I come here often, and I want you to all come and get the knowledge and the wisdom. So Gopura Darshanam, Koti Punya means you look at the Gopura, with this knowledge, it's thousands, millions and millions of Punya. Punya is spiritual benefits for you. Take you many, many lifetimes to do, but you can do it in one lifetime. Okay, I'll go through the Rajagopuram itself, the construction, so that you be aware of what you're looking at. We will light it, we'll identify all the aspects of it, so you can connect to the Devata, who is your Ishta Devata, meaning your guardian angel. That knowledge will come to you, and it will come to you. That angel will come to you and give you whatever gnosis, whatever benefit you are destined to get, which mother will make you happy. So Adi Parashakti, the first aspect is Mahamayi. Mahamayi, Parabrahman is impersonal. She is personal. In this temple, she is your personal goddess. Many of you had communication with her. So she is a personal goddess to you, and she'll come and communicate with you if you follow all the information I share with you, because whatever she gave me, I'm sharing with you. It takes you many hours, I'll give you some of it. So in the Eastern elevation, we have all the Mahamaya aspect. So Mahamaya makes impersonal Parabrahman into personal Saguna Brahman, where we have a form and the name we can connect. See, divine will grant us everything, but the problem is reception. We have to receive it. To that end, she has to transcend a million times to closer to our level of consciousness, our vibratory level. Everything is vibratory. So the Mahamaya is highest. She only starts the whole cycle of creation. She becomes Nada Bindu to Tirumurti, three aspects of her. So all the transcendence into us, that's a very unique concept in our. We are not just created, the creator has become us. She is the creator and she is us, she is in us. It's a beautiful concept and the true concept. The self, the spark, is a part of the fire. So she is in us. So there's no question of being atheistic. You cannot be an atheist, because we are not saying the creator is judging you, you have to do this, you have to do that. No. Our path is very non-judgmental. You are a spark of divine. It's up to you to evolve and reach it. You take your own time. There are many lifetimes. So that's another beautiful concept. You don't have to rush. You cannot rush this. Your soul has to evolve and be blessed. But in this temple, with her blessing, it will evolve quickly. And you have many, many evolutions to go. Once you reach the Devata, once you finish human, you go to that level of Devata, then you ascend higher and higher and higher. And all will be represented in this. The Sri Chakra, she has given the ultimate way of quickly understanding her, because she is supreme consciousness. You cannot understand with the mind. That's why for David Millard, Ganesha has to come and talk to him and give him the wisdom, because he cannot reach with the human mind. The mind, body, ego confinement enslaves us. That's why Einstein said we are living an optical illusion, we are separated ourselves. And we don't have hope. That's what Einstein's statement. Religion, he never liked religion. He was very violently against religion, because religion, as opposed to the meaning, which is unite, separates. All the mess you see is based on religion, because it has separated us. Now you'll see how she teaches you to be one with the universe. And then there is no fear, there is no why. All the negative asuric energy in us, which should be ignorance, would be the main asura, because we're ignorant about our nature, which is divine. I identify with me as Kumar, a physician, my mind, body, ego. I have to overcome that. That's very difficult unless you have the grace and blessing. Jnana, wisdom alone cannot do that. It can to some degree. Ultimately, it's the bhakti which draws. So when I come here, I look at her with reverence, love, affection, personal, because she's my personal goddess, and she's personal goddess to all of you. So now Sri Chakra concept is a very unique concept. I'll tell you in the next slide. The summary of it is very, very profound. It's a cosmic map. It tells you the creation to you now and all the way to atom, and how to go back to the creative energy, to go back to the origin, which is the supreme, undivided, eternal, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient consciousness. That has transcended into us. Then she becomes three aspects of her, which is Mahakali. Mahakali aspect is the kindest aspect. How she is represented, fierce, violent, angry form. That is directed against demons, not against. To us, she is the kindest of all the forms. Mahakali, if you understood, she is the kindest form. But she appears that way as a symbolic. In other words, we really created that form. She is very kind because she protects us from demonic energy which is in us, hurting us from inside, hurting us from outside. She is the one who stands before as Durga, as Chandikeshwari, as Mahakali. All are that aspect. Then she wants to grant you happiness, financial thing, health, happiness, normal life's aims. She grants you as Mahalakshmi. Then she grants you the final one, which is Mahasaraswati. Because you can have everything, health, wealth, everything, but you may not perceive it. I know many people who are very wealthy, very healthy, but they don't perceive it. They're really poor. I was telling Praveen today, one of my friends, he's a billionaire. He's chairman of the corporation, public corporation, I won't mention the name. Dense person. I look at him as such a poor man. I try to enlighten him, then I gave up because she will only can do that. So that Mahasaraswati gives you the wisdom to appreciate, to enjoy. Anything in life, unless you perceive it, doesn't exist. Everything perception and awareness, that is reality. So this person is very wealthy, healthy too, but dense, so he does not understand. He's going to grow up and pass this, and hopefully next life he will wake up. I use the word waking up. You're all woken up. If you're not awakened, she would not have invited you here. Each one of you, take my word, you are invited personally. Believe it or not, it's up to you. David knows that very well. Unless she invites you, you won't be here. Unless you awaken, she will invite you, but she knows that you have to wake up first. And that Mahasaraswati does. And she has had 18 aspects of her. And she told me, this tribe, your tribe, will be luxuriously knowledgeable in this decade, future decade. They will rule the country, meaning they will be noble laureates, they will be wealthy, healthy, and wise. And that I can see happening already. Many judges, many congressmen, I can see the trend already. And she said, in this place, she will grant your progeny, your children, your grandchildren will be somebody unique. And I can see that. 20th century, the Judaism was very dominant here. Most Nobel laureates were Judaic principle, even now. But now I see in mid-school, our kids do much better. So I see the trend. That is Mahasaraswati's grace. So when they come here, they will have the opportunity to be somebody unique, not just wealthy and intelligent. I'm talking about Nobel laureate level. And I already gave you one example. Ramanujam, just few, the night she gives information, he writes it down. He didn't even know most of it. But what he knew was very profound. And what he was told, only now with the supercomputer crunching all the data, we know. So you can imagine one deity can give you that much when you're sleeping. And you can imagine when you're awake how much she's giving you, how much she can give you if you want it, if you have the blessing of Divine Mother. So he's a classic example how they come and communicate with you. But he was wise enough to know to write down. So he wrote down those deity. The deity is Namagiri. She is there in that our temple. The reason is one of your progeny probably would benefit from her. So she has provided it. Who's going to take it is up to you and her. Then we have major Shakti. Everything she's given. 16 aspect of Ganesha. One day I got to talk to Mr. Millark and tell him 16 aspects. Very profound aspect of Ganesha is here. The 14 aspects of Kartikeya, very profound aspects are here. We don't have the time to go through that, but one day we will discuss that. Okay, Shi Chakra. As I said, that path is, I won't use the word shortcut, it's profound, but that makes you reach her, meaning divine, quickly. It gives you the secrets of universe. That's why there is 9 avarnas. You can see we have 9 Shi Chakras in the Rajagopuram. 9 avarnas. Avarnas means concealment. She is the creator. She conceals so that your soul can evolve like an examination. You have to evolve certainly. So she conceals. And then she reveals ultimately. So 9 avarnas, and it is in the Shi Chakra. And it's very profound because in our temple she is manifested to protect the world. So she has to bring all her aspects, because many catastrophes were predicted, didn't happen. It would not happen. It may happen in a small way. But she said that is the reason why we built the temple. Now, all the wisdom she wants to wake up. So Rajagopuram was built for world protection and for the world. And she's given us many, many mystical things. Mantras, yantras, tantras. They're all very scientific. See, universe, if you look at it, is an interplay. I'm talking about science now, not metaphysics. Light and sound. Time and space. Whole universe is an interplay. Am I right? That's all there is. Time started at the time of creation, and space started. Bhuvaneshwari sitting in front of Mother. She's space. When the time starts, space expands. It's not something exploded. There was nothing there to explode. It's a pure consciousness. It manifested, it expanded. So time, Mahakali, space, Bhuvaneshwari. So all these are very meaningful. They're mythical with a scientific principle behind it. If you understand them, they're real. So time, space, light and sound. And the sound is anahat sound. Om created, not with the... See, sound creates by touching two objects, any sound. Anahat sound is created without touching. That's the original creation of sound. So it manifests a sound. That sound is so intense, it created universes. It became material from cosmic, Akasha. Akasha is cosmic. Then there is air, then there's a fire, there's water, there's earth. Akasha is a fundamental, it's not material, it's consciousness. That densitizes. As it densitizes, you got 5 elements of the earth. So that Akasha is a primary sound. Om is a creative. Every religion talks about creation. Islam talks about Amin. Christianity talks about Amen. So all this they figured out. In the beginning there was a word. The word was with God, and the word is God. All these are true. And the supreme consciousness became the sound. That is nada. That is called anahat sound. There are 2 scientists doing some studies in 1960s. They heard some noise. They saw some birds chirping. They had a very powerful antenna. But then they found out there's cosmic background radiation. There's a beginning, they heard it through that. They thought it was artificial. So it's called CMB. The cosmic background radiation is a leftover from the initial pranava, which created the whole universe, which makes sense. The intensity of the vibration rapidly cooling down from trillion degree temperature, rapid cooling will create material. First subatomic, then atomic, then the complex. We are the complex. We are the 3rd generation star people. Because we have iron, all the complex heavy metals. They didn't have it. Only hydrogen, helium existed. That was heavy enough to form a sun. And ours is heavy enough, so we are 3rd generation galaxies, and we are star. We came from the star, the whole our solar system. So the rishis heard that. What the scientists heard, of course they heard the rudimentary leftover CMB, it's called cosmic background radiation, but the rishis knew exactly what each sound. That is a manifestation of the supreme deities, the devatas. They manifest with sound, with color, with raga, with the vibration, and reveal them to these Maharishis. In other words, they are the angels, and they reveal them to Maharishis, and each Maharishi gave the form and the name and the bija for us to know it. And she also has given us one new deity which you would not have heard. It's called Mantra Shri Devi. With her grace you would know all the bijas. If you have potentiality, you will realize it. So Sri Chakra is very profound, and the yantras are very profound. You know, sound is mantra. Mantra is sound based. The forms are yantra. They are actually geometrical figure. You will see triangle, you see circle, hexagram, pentagram. What it is containing that space in that element, whether it's triangle, it's a triangle, whatever. Containing is also not enough. You have to instill the deity in all these things. There are so many of them. You see, mainly there are 43 chakra. The 44th will be Bindu. And the 5 would be downward. And the downward is mother, downward triangle. 5 will be upward facing triangle. The downward facing triangle is mother's love for us, the descendants of the love and affection and the blessing and the grace of Divine Mother. The upward triangle is our desire for the soul to go up to their level. So father and mother combination, the 5 downward triangle and 5 upward triangle, that is Shri Chakra. There are many devatas, and it's very complex, very complex. There are actually 64 crore, that means 640 million cosmic energy. These are all emotions. How many emotions we develop? Millions and millions of emotions we develop in a lifetime. In a given day, how many? Those with the consciousness intensified trillion times is a devata. That is a devata. So for us to consume them, understand them, relate them, we need grace, we need knowledge, we need to understand. And the Sri Chakra path gives you some idea what they are. So all these chakras, they are instilled with cosmic energy, which are devatas. 640 million of them. They will say 330 million gods, but 640 million devatas, meaning high intense energy with consciousness beings, which is separated, so one becomes so numerous, and some can come to us and grace us. That is the symbolism. In this temple, there are two ways you can benefit. You just can come and affectionately look at Mother and enjoy her. Your prana will wake up. Quickly, your pranic activity will wake up and will harmonize, which will help you physically, mentally, emotionally, if you come with the knowledge. Other one is more important. You see the last line? The Kundalini, that is Kundalini. Your consciousness rising up is Kundalini. She's mother of Kundalini. All the Kundalini devatas are under control. If you have her blessing, the energy of herself wakes up, and Kundalini goes from Mooladhara, which is from animal. So the minute you become human, your Mooladhara is activated. Otherwise you won't be human, you'll still be animal. The fact you're human, your Kundalini is activated, but staying in Mooladhara, you got to raise it up to Sahasrara, like a lotus unfolding. Then from beast to human to divine. That is the principle. And Sri Chakra path explains you. So when you come here and be in Kundalini path, you will quickly connect yourself with the super soul, soul to super soul. That's a very effective methodology. Otherwise it will activate your prana, which is great. Activating prana. Prana is not scientific. Prana is a life force. When it stops, you are dead. All the organs may be normal, but the organs will die soon enough. Brain will die first, other ones will die. But the minute it stops flowing, you are dead. So there is something called life force. And we have analyzed, our rishis have analyzed it and came to a conclusion of various types of prana and 72,000 nadi channels of prana. They have identified it very thoroughly, very precisely, very deeply, very profoundly. But science do not know that. To them it's mind, brain and body, not anything beyond that, because to them it's abstract. And they know, Carl Jung knew, Sigmund Freud didn't understand that much, but Carl Jung knew there's something like Kundalini. He didn't wake up his Kundalini, but he understood it is there and we have the potential. And if it wakes up, you become a knower. And David Millar's Kundalini is awakened. So he is able to communicate, he is able to see things which are not seeable with a normal. See, our eyes and ears and senses are very rudimentary, very limited. So just because you don't see, I see many devatas here because I'm aware of them, and more importantly, I sacrifice and receive the blessing. Ultimately, it goes back to your sacrifice. You have to give something of yourself to connect to them. It goes back to Abrahamic religion. That's why Abraham had to go and sacrifice his son. It's symbolic. The divine didn't want his son, but divine wanted his commitment so that divine can transcend into his soul. That is all. It's not something divine needs. The divine doesn't need anything. It's supreme, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent soul, but it needs us to receive. To that end, Sri Chakra path is probably the secretive closest. As time goes on, she will give you more, or I will share with you all the information I have that will enhance your ascendance from soul to super soul. Otherwise, just come with bhakti and she will activate your prana and she will lead you towards Kundalini. Either way is very beneficial. Both ways you will benefit. So that is Eastern elevation, all Mahamari aspects, Divine Mother aspects. So many of them, we have them. We don't have time to go through. In the West elevation, we have all Mahavishnu aspect. And since it is covered up, people cannot see, we design, Rakesh standing there, she must have communicated with him. We're putting a glass so that from inside you can see that elevation. There, Venkateshwara with Sri Devi, Bhudevi is a presiding deity, and all the aspects of Mahavishnu, Jagannath, Radha Krishna, all of them will be. And Pratyankara is a very unusual deity. I don't have the time to talk about her. She's a very powerful deity, very actively present here. She is the one who advised Narasimha. Tell him that you are Mahavishnu avatar, so you cannot become uncontrollable. When he consumed evil, Hiranyakashipu, he could not stand. Because logically, when you consume that much of evil, you will be affected. And he was affected, and the whole universe cannot take that much energy. So Mahamai came, Mother came as Pratyankara Devi. See that form there? that form. So she told him, she calmed him, she sedated him. Then he calmed down. She told him, you are Mahavishnu, you are a sustainer. You cannot become a destroyer. And that's because he consumed Hiranyakashipu, the demon, highest demonic blood, technically. So we give that form. See how ferocious she is? But that is the form we give. She's very kind, very loving. So all these forms, we created the form so that we can understand. She's so energetic. She is the only one who could explain and sedate Narasimha. Okay, north elevation and south elevation. North elevation we have Vakdevis, that is Brahma and the Vakdevis. Vakdevi is the Maha Saraswati aspect. Vak is a primary word from which whole universe came, as I explained to you earlier. And what gives you wisdom is Maha Saraswati. That's why in Navaratri we have Durga, we have Mahalakshmi. Ultimately we come to Maha Saraswati. The perception and benefit of everything you get is through Jnana, through Maha Saraswati. With her grace, we are able to perceive, enjoy, appreciate and benefit all the goodness in life. Without that, you would not have it. You will have it at a different level. You may not even have it. Some people are very wealthy, healthy, but they do not enjoy it. They do not perceive it. They just take it for granted. And they miss out the gnosis aspect, the highest aspect they miss out. That the Vakdevis, all 18 of them are here. And they give you the blessing, understanding. Then in the south elevation we have various aspects of Shiva Bhagavan. The dissolver. From the dissolution comes creation. When the time comes, he dissolves. He doesn't dissolve the universe. He does periodically. Pralaya comes and the whole universe is destroyed. But he dissolves us. Every night you go to sleep, he comes. He points out many things. If you are aware of that, you will receive that. So he comes as very Nataraja, cosmic dancer, Sadashiva, the